True stories of creativity and resilience. The United States of YouTube. Visit now.
Hey, welcome to the live show. 12 streams of Christmas. Yes, I made it sound more exciting than it actually is. It's just me in downtown Champaign, Illinois. Nate Allball, high school football coach, long time, 20 years to be exact, here in Illinois, and a content creator. And I don't have much to teach you, just like to bring on guys and talk ball. And sometimes we don't talk ball, sometimes we just talk. But I'm here in downtown Champaign, Illinois, excited to be here. As I said last night, I always get this burst of energy as soon as I get ready to go live, and I love it. Tonight we got a great guest, man. I say it every night, but I guess it's true every night, man. Rinehart in the house tonight, high school football coach in Michigan, and he runs a split back Veer. The what? The what? The split back Veer. People still run that. Now, if you know me at all, you know I got a special place in my heart for under center people. Doesn't mean I hate the gun people. It just means there's a special place in my heart for you under center dudes, right? People might call me a wing T guy, but I wonder, I might identify more with under center than I do wing T. What's up, everybody? Coach Big Pete in the house. Coach Big Pete, thanks for being here, man. Glad that you stopped by to see us. Love what you do. Brian Clee says, winding down to Christmas break. Amen. You know, we actually go till next Tuesday. Isn't that crazy? Yes, split back Veer. Patrick Gannon in the house. Lucas Freeman in the house. So for example, Lucas Freeman's a wing T guy, but he's gun wing T. I almost feel like I might identify more with Coach Rinehart, who's in the split back Veer, than I do with Coach Freeman, who's gun wing T. So what does that make me? Well, odd. I know that. Odd. Well, we are live. I got Sean Rinehart here in the chat room waiting to come in. Got a couple little logistics. Live tonight for 30 minutes. That's it. It's 30 minutes, man. We're just hanging out and saying hi. Guys in the chat, always check in and say hi. Guys that, as always, answer questions, shoot out questions. If I ask a question to Coach, man, you're welcome to answer it yourself. And then after that, I always show a video from the online clinic over at clinic.chiefpigskin.com. Tonight's hasn't been seen in a long time. And in fact, tonight's, I don't even know if the tonight's video is on the online clinic anymore. It's from Paul Pitts, who's a college football coach. I think he's at Cumberland University now, or University of the Cumberlands, which is in Tennessee somewhere. And it's midline and veer option out of the I formation. I'm telling you, this guy is good stuff. His college O-line coach, he's really good. He's got that southern draw. Paul Pitts is really good. That video's playing after this. That'll stay here and available for 24 hours, and then it'll move back to the online clinic at clinic.chiefpigskin.com. Let me shout out our sponsor, and we'll get Coach Rinehart in, and we'll start talking a little ball. Freeman says, best part about under center is wedge. Coach Steve says, gun wing T has my interest. Dude, it's sexy right now. Gun wing T is a sexy thing. I mean, I think that if you go into a parent meeting and say, we're a gun wing T team, I think most people are like, yeah, let's go. Right? What are those things that parents don't want to hear? Option? Do they not want to hear wing T? What do the parents not want to hear? That's what I want to know. I know that the air raid guys get a lot of heat for their offense. But I feel like if you go into a parent meeting and say, we're going to run air raid, you kind of leave a popular dude. You guys think so too? Like, what's the least popular thing you could go into a parent meeting and say? What's the most popular thing you could go into a parent meeting and say, we're going to run blank? And then what do they want to hear defensively? Like, when they ask you in an interview, what offense will you run or what defense do you run? Do you say, well, we'll wait and we'll play it off what our strengths are, even if you know what you're going to run? Or do you just tell them what you're planning on running? What do you guys think? In the interview process, what do you do? Do you just tell them straight up, I'm going to run a blank? Let's say, let's say you are an under center guy. Let's say you're Sean Rinehart. You're a split back Veer guy. You come in and go, we're going to run split back Veer. The only thing I worry about is the one dude in the meeting who thinks he knows football but doesn't is like, well, that's antiquated. We can't run that. This guy will be no good. Or do you just say, we'll wait and see who we got, even if you know full well what you're about to run? What would you guys do in the interview? Maybe you guys have had that interview. What did you do? What did you answer? Curious to know. Hey, our sponsor is Guardian Caps. Dabo, Jimbo, Franklin, Riley, Herman. What do these coaches have in common? They all use Guardian Caps during practice. These caps reduce up to 33% of the impact to address the repetitive, subconcussive blows that add up during the week while keeping your helmets looking like new. Check them out at guardiansports.com or on Twitter at Guardian_Caps. Let's get our guest in here, Sean Rinehart. I got to figure this out. I got to figure out my background music thing, because it always goes to an advertisement and it drives me nuts. Let's get Coach Rinehart in here. Freeman says his wing T card gets taken away because he doesn't run buck. I talked to a guy. What's up, Sean Rinehart? How are you, man?
Doing well. How you doing?
Really good. We're just chatting here. I'm just shooting the breeze with the guys in the chat. Coach Freeman said he gets his wing T card taken because he doesn't run buck. I was actually just talking to, I got a buddy. I'm going to call him a buddy now. We met through Zoom during this whole quarantine time. His name's John Eliosi. I think I had him on once briefly. He's a wing T guy. He won a state title just maybe 2 years back out of Massachusetts. And he gets a hold of me a lot. Like, I'm super flattered. He's really, really a well-established coach. And he's like, hey, can we talk tonight? I just want to pick your brain on something, right? And he lets me ramble. But anyway, Coach Freeman, he doesn't run buck sweep either. Or maybe he does, but he really wants to cut it. He's like, I'm going power, no buck sweep. And I'm always like, dude, while I can see why you could justify getting rid of buck sweep, my concern is that it's such a core of the offense, what everything else is based off. How do you get rid of it? For example, Coach Rinehart, split back Veer. Do you ever consider, maybe this year I won't run Veer?
I can honestly say I've never considered that at all. We vary what we do and the option plays that we want to put in. There's different ways to do it, but we're never going to go in there and say, we're not going to run the Veer. We're going to line up and split, but we're not going to run the Veer. That'll never happen.
And I know for my wing T guys, I know it's different. I get it. It's different. Freeman runs jet, GT, over buck. I get it. Those are good plays. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Coach Steve says, when in doubt, zone and out. Listen, zone, there's a lot of good stuff taking place in option football zone-wise. You guys use any sort of zone at all concepts, Rinehart?
I would say a lot of our blocking across the board is zone concepts. When I first started coaching, we were a spread and I, a lot of zone concepts there. When we decided to put in the split Veer, we kind of married the school that we took it from, including some of those zone combos, doubles. And that's kind of what we have right now here at Lakeview. That's our system. And the kids gravitate to it. They understand it. It makes a lot of sense for them. So,
see, zone gives me fits when I'm trying to defend things. Zone gives me fits. Now, everybody, first of all, forgive my hat. I'm a Wisconsin vacationer, and I said, I'm going to buy the most vacation-ish hat I can find. This is my most, it says drink Wisconsinably. It's backwards in the camera, I'm sure. But, yeah, Coach, so when you guys are looking at what you're going to do, and you said you were spread, and you're like, no, I don't know what I was going to say. I'm going to come back to that because I actually got that question written down. I'll come back to that. Zone. The thing that gives me fits is I feel, especially like, let's say, whatever you do, let's say in your case, option. I'm sitting there in front of my whiteboard. I'm drawing up my run fits. I need my Mike linebacker to come downhill hard. I've got to fill this hard. I've got to squeeze this hard. And then all of a sudden, if you run anything zone-ish, run fits get cloudy. And it's almost like you have to play zone slower. And I've said that before. That's what I worry about. And that's what's so hard about defending zone. So if you do mix anything in there, boy, that Mike linebacker, it gives them fits. That D end, it gives them fits. It's just that change up. Now, the question is, can you run both well, right? Can you mix in? Can you coach it? Can you do the zone schemes with whatever else you're doing? and it sounds like you guys are using it a little bit. Now listen, isn't that zone dive that has become so popular for Army and Navy? Isn't that that's zone concepts, right?
It's yeah. I mean, we have one similar to it. We kind of stole it from that flex bone concept. We just call it belly. Looks like inside veer. We're gonna zone that up. I had the benefit my first couple of years of being in that spread system and watching these tailbacks actually read that inside-outside zone and see how long those linemen are kind of holding those blocks. Well, then you come to our system where our running backs just need to get to linebacker level within 3 to 4 seconds. We're not asking our tight ends, tackles, and guards to, blow these linebackers away, back off the ball. We're just getting it away, and we're creating angles for us to get upfield quickly. So a lot of those concepts and those ideas for our kids come so easy to them now.
Well, I'm going to check in with our guys here in the chat real quick, Coach. I wonder if you know any of these guys. A couple new names in the house tonight. Mike Domagalski. Do you know?
I do.
Okay. Is he a coaching buddy of yours? Does he coach with you?
We actually went to high school together. I've known him for a long time.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thanks for coming and supporting Coach Rinehart. How about Thomas Lowe?
Yeah, Thomas is one of those running backs I was just talking about. He was one of the best running backs in the county for us in North Carolina.
There you go.
He was that typical, prototypical running back in the spread and the eye, and just killed it for us that season. A lot of what we did then is stuff that we're doing now. Thanks to him, I learned a ton.
Well, welcome, fellas. Coach Big Pete in the house says he's been offered a couple head coaching spots. Not interested. Just to mess with ADs, I say I'm running T formation. They go speechless because they're expecting me to do run and shoot offense from experience. It's quite funny to me. Coach of football, Brian Clee says, stay downhill to your gap, hit and run through if you're a linebacker. No, you're right. I mean, when it comes to I'm assuming you're talking about defending that zone. Chris Rinehart in the house. Is you related to this guy?
Yeah, it turns out that's my brother.
Yeah, he says you don't know crap. Which, as any good brother should say.
We give each other a hard time.
I was just telling the guys in the chat right before you hopped on here, and I don't know if you heard it or not, but when you're going to the interview, I've debated this myself. Do I tell them what I plan to run offensively, or do I just not worry about it and just say the sexiest answer you can give, because this is what ESPN would say, and to me, most of the people on the interview committee are ESPN type football fans. I would be like, we're gonna wait and see the strengths of the players, and we'll make we'll just get it. We'll base it off that. What would you do? Because I gotta feel like if you took over a new place, some right now, you're pretty likely to run split back veer. What would you do in the interview at this point in your career?
From my experience, I had a couple interviews before I had this job 8 years ago, and in those interviews, they actually asked me if you could pick any play offensively, just off the top of your head, the best play you could think of. They drew a defense up. What is the best play? So automatically my brain's going to split back veer. I'm going outside veer, and I'm going to show them all the different ways that we can beat that defense with outside veer. I don't think I'd be afraid to go into that interview and tell them, what I'm about, what I have a passion for. If I'm a head coach that's done a lot of work in a specific offense, whether it be, wing tee, flex bone, spread, if you have a passion for it and that system can work anywhere, and you can prove and make those kids believe, then I don't think you should be afraid to walk in there with that knowledge to show them, I have a strong passion for this. I know it can work, and here's how it can work.
I have a plan, and I'm going to stick to it. That's the thing. It's it could go both ways, because at the end of the day, if you get the job, you get to run what you want. Like, no one's going to stop you. So there's that side of it. And then the other side is, well, hey, if they don't want they don't want me because of my offense, then that's clearly not a place I want to be anyway.
Yep.
Right?
Your offense is a small part of what you do. The culture you create, the kind of personality you bring into that building, what you're going to positively do for those kids. Your offense is such a small part of that.
Yeah, right. You're exactly right. Brian Clee says they either accept you as a coach or it's a place where you probably don't want to be. Patrick Gannon says, split back veer wins games. Look how it worked out for De La Salle. Is that what De La Salle ran? The infamous Bob Lassiter was a split back veer guy? I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, we get a lot of, so we run a counter tray. We call it cross. We actually got that from De La Salle, just picking up film. They They do a lot of stuff out of it, a lot of 2 tight end stuff. They are ridiculously good at it, yes.
Man, Coach, if you were forced right now to switch offenses and someone said, sorry, dude, the split back Veer just got outlawed, where would you go? What else do you like?
I'm becoming more of a fan of like a spread pistol look, either with a 1 back or even going empty with trips one side, doubles on the other. I like the power read. I'm pretty lucky the next couple of years we're going to have a QB that we want to get the ball in his hands. So I like that power read. I like that jet. I like that QB counter. I like the play action passing game out of it. There's a lot you can do out of it. We're doing some of those things now, but I am a fan of that pistol look.
Okay. Fellas, Coach Steve in the house says, nah, you're speaking my language. Coach Steve, one of our faithful watchers. And he also runs a podcast, the Coach Steve Show, right? Is that what you call it? Coach Steve Show. How many of you other guys produce some content? I know Coaching Football with Brian Cleef produces content. I know Coach Big Pete does content in a way, like recruiting stuff. Coastal Carolina's doing some great option things. Listen, I had a blast watching Coastal Carolina play BYU.
Awesome.
It might have been my favorite, couple hours watching football of my year. Now, again, you're talking to a guy who didn't get to coach this fall. But, it was my favorite time of my fall, watching these guys play. Well, for you guys in the chat, first of all, thank you for being here. Second of all, I need you to give us a thumbs up. That's all I'm asking. Just give us a thumbs up, right? Come, click, thumbs up, thumbs us up. And then if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to show you a video from the online clinic after this, immediately following, from a guy named Paul Pitts. College football coach, runs the option. His is out of the I formation. You might pick up some good stuff, Coach. It's pretty good.
Definitely.
That'll stay here on the YouTube channel for 24 hours before it moves back over to the online clinic. I'm not going to lie, though. I'm going to let you guys all in on a secret. I'm considering moving the whole online clinic to YouTube. I'm considering. Okay, we'll move on. Guys, we talk ball for 30 minutes. It goes so fast, Coach. We're already halfway through. I haven't even touched my questions yet, so let's go dive in. Coach, I went to summer camp in Michigan, 2 summers in Michigan, and part of our song was, I live here, I live here. It was a girl pointing to her hand. On your hand, you live where?
So right about, it's opposite because it's reversed because we're mirrored. So So we're right here.
Okay, yeah, that's right. We're mirrored because of the Zoom.
Yeah.
So you're right. Now listen, it's Lakeview High School, but it's not even near one of the main lakes. How did they take that name? Is there a tiny lake right there?
There's so many lakes in this state. There's 2 or 3 literally within the 4 or 5 mile vicinity that our school is in. So I think that's just how it came about.
It's just to me, you could get away with that name if you lived in Kansas. But when you're in Michigan, smack between 2 massive lakes, and you call yourself Lakeview and you're here, it just seems wrong. Next, I got a quote for you. I just was watching this video today. I got the biggest kick out of it. Can you name, this goes for all of you guys, it's an athlete, famous athlete, who said this: I'm the greatest of all time. My offense is impetuous. My defense is impregnable.
Muhammad Ali?
Who said it? It's not Ali. Let's give the guys in the chat a chance to answer. Let's see if you guys know. Who said it? I'm the greatest of all time. My offense is impetuous, and my defense is impregnable. What a great quote, first of all.
That is fantastic.
That's a great quote. Does anybody in the chat know who that was? Come on. That's right. Boss Money Cap City says it was Tyson, and that's right. It was
my next guess.
He said, I'm the greatest of all time. My offense is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. It was one of the greatest 30 seconds of my day, honestly. All right, next question, Coach. Name one Michigan high school powerhouse.
Just one?
One.
Oh, man. Ithaca is
yes.
Montague in that same Division 6 powerhouse. West Bloomfield.
Okay.
Very strong.
Oh, you're on a roll now.
There's so many to name.
Name 2 more.
Oh, two more. Let's see.
Isn't there a Catholic school out of Detroit or two?
I mean, Cass Tech's not a Catholic school, but I mean, you have Cass Tech High School. They're always pretty good. Chippewa Valley is always pretty strong. A lot of those southeastern schools. I grew up in the southeast part of the state, so a lot of those schools are pretty strong.
Okay. What's up with UP football? Are they a part of the same state tournament?
They are, yes.
It's all one. So name us a UP powerhouse.
I haven't heard much from them. I don't know if they're still a powerhouse. Ishpeming has always been pretty strong.
What'd you say?
Ishpeming.
Ishpeming.
Ishpeming. Smaller school, Division 7, I believe, Division 8 maybe. They're generally pretty strong and always making a pretty deep run.
Okay, Patrick Gannon says Zeeland West.
Yep.
Mike Domagalski says Marine City.
Yep.
Menominee, Brian Clee says Menominee.
Yep.
All right. Now I've had a bunch of Michigan friends because I spent some summers up there. They were Holland boys. Had some Holland boys. And then some Traverse City boys. Boy, that's a beautiful city right there, Traverse City. Next, right here. Now, this is not about This isn't about. Okay. Anytime you talk offense, I feel like everybody wants to have a debate of like what's best. This is not a what's best, but I just want to ask you this because my old man talked about this on his podcast. He said that somebody had said, some announcer on ESPN said that, the new guy, what's his name, Collins at Georgia Tech, they can't win right now. They're pretty bad, actually. Well, he says, that's because he's got all Johnson's athletes, and Paul Johnson was running that horse and buggy Amish offense. What do you say to people that say, Coach, you're just running a horse and buggy Amish offense? I
mean, you have to. First of all, you got to own up to it. This is an older offense. It's 1950s. It's been around for years. But there's things that we do open it up a little bit. We are not. So a lot of people think, we want to run the ball 95% of the time. I don't. If I have to, and that's what it takes to win a game, then yeah, we're going to do it. But there's ways to set up that passing game. There's ways to set up that screen game that doesn't have to be an option play action. We have a whole screen package that we do. We have a whole drop back passing package that we do. So we're not just sitting here handing off the ball. We have 8 to 10 different split veer formations. So we're taking that older offense and we're putting it into 2020. We're making it more modern.
Coach, what about this question? And again, I'm just trying to challenge you, create a little bit of interesting conversation. What if they said, Coach, why not just take what you do, just get with 2020, modernize it, and just do it out of the gun?
I honestly believe that you can win with any offense if the kids believe in it and they know you believe in it. So I think it starts from the top. Like I've seen some great programs in our area that are running offenses that are just as old as us. So like a straight T. I mean, that's been around forever, but there are teams around us that do it so well that it's so impossible to stop them unless you have a perfect game. And a lot of those teams don't throw the ball one time an entire game. So I think that it starts from the top. Do your coaches really believe in it? And if they really believe in it, your kids will start to believe in it. But you have to be able to defend the fact that I get questioned all the time, why am I under center? Why don't I just go gun? Well, I don't have to go gun. I like the idea of being under center. I like hitting fast within 3 or 4 seconds. That's a whole different element to a game that if I put them in gun, we start to lose. And so there's all different ways to kind of explain why we do this as opposed to another way to do it.
I love it, Coach. On fire right there. Listen, and this is what I want to tell everybody in the chat. I'm not teaching anybody anything, but these are the things that come to my mind. Like, you're running, whatever offense you choose, you need to be able to defend it just like that, right? And that's not like you had time to prepare, although I'm sure it's something you talk about a lot, but this is, you are live, you are asked that question out of the blue, and you can defend it confidently and, without these I mean, smooth as heck. I ask you that question, put you on the spot, roll out your answer, and I just want to tell everybody, like, I feel, to me, that's food for thought as you're laying in bed tonight. Like, all right, if someone says, why am I doing this? Do I have a really good answer for that? Because my only challenge would be, if you don't have this answer that's now, and you know it and you believe it, truly believe it, then I'm not saying you're running the wrong thing, but I'm just saying you need to spend more time knowing exactly why. This is why I like that. And that's nothing new. People talk about your why all the time, but I love that you had that ready and how confident. Let's talk about real quick. What do you think of this Coastal Carolina offense? Because when I'm watching, I'm like, that's nasty. I like this. Is nice. I like this.
It's fun to watch. I mean, as an option football coach, I'm going to be a fan of all option teams. It's the adjustments that, to me, are so impressive. The different ways that you can manipulate formations and you can get them out of position to where you want to, and you can be successful. Taking a simple play like midline and dressing it up so much with like an H-back or a lead block or somebody that's going to shoot that gap inside or even go arc release to a safety. Two little things that you just took an old style play and you modernized it like crazy, and you can run that play, and they did. They ran it a bunch of times out of so many different formations to get the look that they wanted. That, to me, that was the most interesting part.
Why do you think, so they're running that? They were running a lot of that option off of what looked like belly G, but they were pulling that center. Why do you think they were pulling that center instead of guard?
I don't know. I've never really thought about pulling a center. My only guess, I know that their lineman is their average lineman size is a little bit smaller, but that doesn't make them any less athletic. I wonder if that makes them more athletic, and maybe they look at that center and they're thinking, this might be one of our best athletes. Let's let him pull. Let's let him get out in space and let him find the right guy to block.
That's what I was wondering. Is it just going, listen, our center's our best player. We got to pull him. It is what it is. He's the best one. That's what I was wondering, if it was something like that. Well, fellas in the chat, man, we're coming down into our last 5 minutes. Your brother says more athletic linemen could have had better feet. Yeah, love Coastal's belly play with the center. That's what Freeman said. Domagalski says the kids believe in it, and you believe in it. Any offense can work, and you can win, and that's true. That's true. I mean, it is. I've seen. That's what I said the other night, and it might have been just last night. But I said I never turn on film and go, oh no, they're running blank. Let's say I'm game planning for somebody. I never do that. I always turn on the film and I see that they're running, and then I go, oh no, they do this really well. I say that a lot. I'm like, oh no, they're right. But that's always after I've watched them play a little bit. So I would never have like an offense. I go, oh no, they're running. I see it and I'm like, okay. Oh no, they're running this really well. And that's when I start going, oh man, you know how it is. You might be starting to get a good feel for your game plan, and then all of a sudden, turns out they got one more super talented dude, and you're like, oh man, I didn't know he was that good too. Well, fellas in the chat, listen, Coach Rinehart is on his way down to Champaign this weekend. Champaign IL. You're going to be here live you're going to be here in Champaign in my studio downtown Champaign. He's recording, count them, 6 videos. So listen, Coach Rinehart's for real. If we ask him to speak that much for us, he's going to be putting stuff on the online clinic and stuff over on our store. So I'm excited for you guys to check some of that out. Coach, we're in our last couple minutes. I'm going to shout out my sponsor one last time, and then I'm going to ask you my last 2 questions. I actually have 4, but I'm going to have to choose 2. And but never fear, fellas, because Coach Rinehart has agreed to come back on tomorrow night. We're going to talk a little bit more specifics of option football tomorrow night. That'll be, again, same time, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. And let's go ahead and do my sponsor before I ramble too much. Dabo, Jimbo, Franklin, Riley, Herman. What do these coaches have in common? They all use Guardian caps during practice. These caps reduce up to 33% of the impact to address the repetitive subconcussive blows that add up during the week while keeping your helmets looking like new. Check them out at guardiansports.com or on Twitter at Guardian_caps. Fellas, thanks for joining us tonight. One last time, I'm going to ask, can you give us a thumbs up? And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Really appreciate all of your support. Coach, nope, I'm going to have to save that one. We'll do this. Go ahead and tell everybody, what are you speaking about this weekend?
For which one? The online clinic or the stuff in the store?
Yes, all. What are you speaking on?
So I got one presentation for just, our straight option plays and what we do. So midline, inside veer, outside veer, speed option, counter. Complementary plays, every complementary play that we have. So quick pitch, counter tray, QB follow, a trap off counter option, all nasty, different complementary plays. Our entire play action passing system, what we do and why we do it. A film study, a film analysis, from an option split back veer coach when I'm looking for some special teams. We do some kick returns, some punt, a little bit of different, extra point, 2-point conversion kind of stuff, and a straight drop back, split back veer, drop back passing presentation.
Man, listen, I'm going to sneak this question in one last time. First of all, fellas, that's 6 presentations. It's going to be fire. I'm excited for it. He's driving down. We'll be filming all weekend. It'll start coming out in about 2 weeks from now. This was my last question for you because it kind of lines up with what we talked about last night with my guest, Robbie Howard. What about when you got a dude who is clearly, he's just a lot better than everybody else on your team. It doesn't happen every year. Maybe it happens once every 5 years, but the dude comes by. Does he go in one spot over the other? Do you move him around? What do you do with the dude when it happens?
I think a lot of that comes to, where do we need him at? Some of the best coaches I've ever worked with told me that, your best athlete should be your QB. But that also doesn't mean that kid either A, wants to be a QB, or B, can do the things a QB needs to do. And so I think, from my perspective as a split back veer coach, having those complementary plays. So say he is a QB and you want to take the read out of it, you can run a QB follow. So it looks like outside veer, but we're going to cut up inside. You have a belly play. So if he's your running back, you can give that ball. There is no read. So there's ways in our system to get that kid the ball. But generally for us, that dude is going to be a QB or a running back for us.
I used to tell some people, there's always on any given year, but a lot of years come by, you can say, so-and-so would be our best player at any position. Like, he would be our best D tackle, our best D end, our best linebacker, our best corner, our best safety. He would be the best. He's the best. Okay. So who else do we have? Right. So where does he fit in that puzzle? So I love the way you say that, man. Well, fellas, we are going to we're going to transition over into our video. The sound will go out for about 10 seconds. You'll see the new video pop up. There's an advertisement that was on the old video from like 2 years ago that will play. So you'll see that playing, but the audio will stay quiet for like another solid minute. But hey, within about 90 seconds from now, Paul Pitts' video will be playing. Fellas, thanks for joining us. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure you look up Coach Rinehart on Twitter. Hit him with your Twitter. It's something LHS or
at LHS Cats Football.
Got it. At LHS Cats Football. Tomorrow night, we're going to dive a little deeper into some option football, Coach. Tonight was more about like challenging you. Tomorrow night, we know you're an expert. We're going to actually ask you some expert. We're going to try to see a little bit more about your expertise, man.
Sounds good.
Everybody have a good night. Coach, you have a good night. And everybody, look us up. Follow us on Twitter. We'll see you around.
See ya.